It is Wednesday, December 8th in the NBA, and we got a gigantic slate coming your way. 13 games tonight. Now, I have my favorite 6 best bets of the night, plus a long shot parlay. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. And before we get into a recap from yesterday, tonight we have our weekly live stream powered by Dimer, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to see all you guys out there. We'll be answering every single one of your questions that you send in to me into the chat. We'll be live for about 30 to 40 minutes, so from about 6 p.m. to 6:30 Eastern Time, I expect to see you guys there. Now, let's recap yesterday. Because, yeah, boy, oh boy, we brought out the brooms. Now, it was a mini sweep. Now, we went 2-0. LeBron James over 24.5 points, easy cash. He scores 16 in the first quarter. Really made a sweat. Really, he didn't really shoot a lot of times, but still ends up with 30 points. James Harden over 38.5 points. Easy cash early in the fourth quarter. You love to see that. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We are less than 180 subscribers away from 15,000. So give you guys a round of applause. You guys have been killing the subscribe button, but I need you guys to get us to 15,000. So if you're new, click that subscribe button. Click that like button too. It only takes a couple seconds and it really helps grow the channel. Now, today we'll have the long shot parlay, but when we get to 15,000 subscribers, we're always doing the 15,000 subscriber parlay giveaway. And if that hits, we're going to give away the winnings to all of you guys. Now, last but not least, we got a long video. We got 6 plays and we got a parlay at the end. We're going to get into it. We're going to crank into hyper speed and we're going to get after it. So put us on half speed if you want. I'm going to talk fast, but we're going to get into it. And we're going to start with my best bet of the day, arguably jinxed. Stephen Curry, over 30.5 points, minus 108 on FanDuel. Now, Curry, he's averaging 27.7 points per game this season. But let me set the stage for you. Stephen Curry, 16 three-pointers away from passing Ray Allen for the most threes made in NBA history. Now, the record for most threes made in a game is 14 by his teammate Klay Thompson. And the Warriors are currently on their final game until they go on a 5-game road trip. So, and lastly, they're taking on a lowly Blazers team without CJ McCollum, without Damian Lillard, and the Warriors are 14-point favorites, clearly the better team. So, look, I'm not going to come out here and say Stephen Curry's going to hit 16 three-pointers tonight. That would be me predicting an NBA world record. Unreal. That would be unreal. An NBA record. Me to predict that. I don't know what the odds are, probably over plus 10,000. But I'm saying there's a chance, and if it does happen, you come back to this video, you better go click that subscribe button. But even Curry has acknowledged in his post-game press conferences, he said beating those 2 records specifically are 1A and 1B. And that would not surprise me if they come out and just say, you know what? Fire the ball up. 33 pointers tonight for you, Steph Curry. Just keep chucking it up. We can beat this Blazers team if we just have to try in the fourth quarter. Because they're out their 2 best players, McCollum and Damian Lillard. Now, I think they might let Curry shoot every shot. Very similar to what we saw the great Kobe Bryant. Yeah, you saw his last game. He attempted, 45 shots? I don't know exactly. I want that out of Stephen Curry tonight. Now, I don't know if necessarily that will happen. And maybe if it doesn't, Curry still in his last 3 games against the Blazers has scored 30, 32, 32, 35, and 62 points in his last 3 versus the Blazers. Certainly capable of hitting this line, even if he's not firing up 25 threes tonight. But I'm just saying he might get it done tonight. He might try to make NBA history in their home crowd. Like I said, they're on the road for the next 5 games. Would not surprise me if he's firing up 25, 30 shots tonight. You know Curry wants to get it done at home, and it would be awesome to see it happen. And this is the late game, so if you're staying up, you'll enjoy the treat. Now, moving on into a spread or an over-under of the day, the Thunder. I'm taking the team total under 100.5 points. This play should not come as much of a surprise for you because you can't spell thunder without the word under. And I feel like we coined that phrase and a lot of people are stealing it, but imitation, flattery, whatever the saying is. But here we got the Thunder on the road tonight against the Toronto Raptors. Now, the Thunder, props to them. We give them a round of applause. They bounced back and got a win after they lost by the most points ever in NBA history, 73 to be exact. That game, they scored just 79 points. Now, they came back and they won against the Detroit Pistons. Great job. Great win for you guys. Now, to hit this number, they scored 114 points. Well, it required 42 points in the fourth quarter. So if they scored just 28 points in the fourth, which is a good quarter for the Thunder, they would have still stayed under this line. Now, you look at it, the Pistons, if you're a Detroit fan, sorry, maybe I attack you guys too much, but you guys don't have one of the best defenses in the NBA. And hey, but I'll show you guys some love. We have a player prop for you guys later on in the video. Now, today they're taking on the Raptors, who play at the 2nd slowest pace in the NBA. And the Thunder, for comparison, are right around middle of the pack, 15 or 16th. Now, the Raptors don't necessarily have the best defensive rating in the world, but they do have a lot of guys that try hard on defense, and I think that will make the difference today. Now, the Raptors, how you beat them? You got to have a talented big man that can score in the paint. And sorry, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, You're not that, no offense. And the Raptors match up very well versus the Thunder. Fred VanVleet, a very good, underrated defender at the point guard position. His counterpart in the backcourt, Gary Trent Jr., very good, solid, pesky defender. Now you got Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam that can just cause havoc, both long, very known for being pretty good defenders. Precious Achiuwa, even Chris Boucher off the bench, another good rim blocking centers as well. Now, all these guys have a lot of length on defense, and I think they can cause a lot of problems for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Raptors have held 3 straight teams under 100 points at home. Those teams, the Wizards, the Bucks, and the Grizzlies, all 3 teams, I would argue, are better than the Thunder. Thunder are currently averaging 95.4 points per game on the road, and they've gone under in 7 of 12 road games so far this season, including 3 of their last 5. Now, I'll ride with one of my favorite bets, so say it with me. Come on, everyone. You can't spell thunder without the word under. We're riding with it, and that leads us simply into our next play of the day. Darius Bazley, under 8.5 points. Now, I mean, you should have expected this. You saw the Thunder, you know I have to be here. Now, have you ever thought, let's take a step back. Have you ever thought to yourself, what if I could just go on an absolute heater and just go on a winning streak? And let's say I start with $100 today. And I just went and put $100 on my favorite bet of the day. It cashed. And then the next day, I did put that 200. Let's just assume Juice is not in the, minus 120. Let's assume Juice is not in this fictional world. Now, let's assume, you won that 100. You now have 200. You put 200 and then you make it to 400. 400 to 800. 800 to 1,600. So on and so forth until you get to like $1 million. Well, you'd have to go hit 14 straight bets to hit 1.6 million. If you only hit 13, you'd hit, I believe, 800,000. Now, obviously, you'd lose some juice along the way, but this is a hypothetical scenario. Well, spoiler, if you were doing the same thing for Darius Bazley under, congrats, you're at $400,000 as Darius Bazley has gone under in 12 straight games. And yeah, Bazley is due. He's due to go over. It's not a typo. This man is a cash cow. He's a walking ATM. He's just handing out free money. And will he go over one of these days? Yes, but I have to pick this for the culture. I mean, you look at Bazley over his past 4 games, his playing time and his shot attempts are going down. He's only had 5, 3, 6, and 5 shots the last 4 games. He scored 4, 4, 3, and 7 points. And again, not a great matchup versus the Raptors, who currently give up the 6th fewest points per game to opposing power forwards. Now, and on top of that, they're on the road. Bazley shooting 31.7 percentage, just field goal percentage from the field, 18% from 3. I have to take the under here. Like I said, I just have to. He's going to eventually, we've cashed I don't know how many times in a row with Bazley. He's going to hit the over one of these days, but I'm doing it for the culture, and we're taking his under 8.5 points, minus 124. Now moving on. We're going to another spread pick, my only spread pick of the day, Pacers, minus 4.5, minus 110 versus the Knicks. Now, today we have my favorite team, the New York Knicks, taking on one of my least favorite teams to bet on, the Indiana Pacers. And I will roll with the Pacers in this one, and let's talk about why. Now, these 2 teams have matched up twice this season, once in New York, once in Indiana. In New York, the Knicks won by 8 points. In Indiana, the Pacers won by 13 points. So both teams handling business. Today we're in Indiana. And the Pacers have notoriously been pretty good at home, terrible on the road. Now they're 7-6 at home this season, 6-6-1 against the spread. I believe on the road they are, thinking about the record, I think they're 3-10. But they're now that record has kind of come down the past couple of games as they have lost 3 of their last 4 home games. Granted, those were 2 teams like the Bucks, the Hawks, and the Heat. The Heat loss was a little bit inexplicable, but that's what the Pacers do. They lose games they shouldn't. Now today you have the Knicks coming off a big win yesterday, led by RJ Barrett shooting 7 for 8 from 3, and he added 32 points, and the team knocked down as a whole 18 3-pointers against the Spurs. Now here's the stat for you though: the Knicks have not won back-to-back games since October 30th. They won all of November and the beginning of December by not winning back-to-back games, and yeah, they won yesterday. So naturally, I'm going to follow the trend and think they lose this one. Now the Pacers have won and covered 6 of their last 8 games versus the 8 home games versus the New York Knicks. And icing on top, it was leaked yesterday that the Pacers are considering going full rebuild. They've said they are listening to, well, it was leaked that they're listening to trade offers for Karis LeVert, Miles Turner, and Domantas Sabonis. If you're a player, you kind of got to be a little bit disrespected. I think they come out and prove a point, and I think they dominate this Knicks team. Now I'm going to ride with Indiana minus the points. And similar to that pick, we're going to segue into the next one. Malcolm Brogdon over 11.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 115. Now that is a line that we have on FanDuel. No other book has it at the moment because the Knicks just played last night. Sometimes they wait to release lines for those games, but that is the line we're rolling with. Now, could it change? Sure, but I'm in on either line. Now, if you don't have rebounds plus assists, I'd probably lean is over in assists because he's really been killing it. Now, we've taken this bet in the past, same exact player, same exact matchup, and he cashed for us easily last time, so we're coming back to the well. Brogdon wakes up and he sees the New York Knicks. He wakes up and goes, oh, New York Knicks, got to fill up the stat sheet today. Over his last 3 games as a whole, not against the New York Knicks, we'll talk about that matchup in a little bit. Now, he's had 14, 11, and 15 combined rebounds and assists. On the season, he's averaging 5.8 rebounds per game, 6.2 assists per game. Grand total, 12 rebounds plus assists, exactly what we need today. Now, it makes sense that he hit that over the past couple games because he's played Washington and Miami, currently top 5 in terms of assists allowed to opposing point guards over the last 7 games. Now, who else is on that list? The New York Knicks, who over their past 7 games, mostly with Alec Burks as the starting point guard, given up the 6th most assists per game to opposing point guards, and as well, they've given up the most rebounds per game to opposing point guards as well. So, add on top of that, TJ McConnell, the backup point guard for the Indiana Pacers, is out for this game. And Brogdon currently, TJ McConnell out. Brogdon currently plays the 13th most minutes in all of the NBA per game. And in his last 5 games without TJ McConnell, all of which have been as a Pacer, he's averaged 12.6 rebounds plus assists per game, cashing in 3 of 5. Now, the 2 losses were with 10 and 11 rebounds plus assists. Now, let's talk about the matchup because that's the real reason we're here. Brogdon, over his last 6 games versus the New York Knicks, here's what he's had. Combined rebounds and assists, 15, 15, 10, 15, 14, and 19. We only need 12, and he's gotten 14 plus in all 5 of those 6. The one game he didn't hit this over, he had 33 points. So, of course, he's probably not going to hit it. He didn't need to pass much. He was making every single shot he put up. Now, over his last 2 games, he has averaged 20.5 rebound plus assist chances per game. And on the season, he's averaging 23.1. I think he fills up the stat sheet once again. Now, one last play before we get into the parlay of the day. Saddiq Bey, under 13.5 points, plus 100 on DraftKings. Now, to save you time from Googling, because you're like, who the heck? What the? Saddiq Bey, who the heck's this guy? Well, he's the starting small forward / power forward for the Detroit Pistons. Now, don't know which one they necessarily classify him as because they start Jeremy Grant as well. But I'm going to take Bey to take his under today. Now, Bey finally bounced back last game. Scored 15 points. And, good for him because he had gone under in 5 straight games prior to that. And he played a season high, 40 minutes. So, sure, great. You did your great job. Now they're giving us this value, plus 100. I'm all in. Now, Bey scored 15 points in that game. He shot 16 times. I mean, sure, he better hit the over if he's shooting 16 times, and that's much higher than what he has been attempting recently, and that figures because he's like the 3rd option on offense behind Cade Cunningham and Jeremy Grant. Now, the Pistons today take on the Wizards, and you've heard this stat plenty of times before. Wizards allow the fewest made 3-pointers per game in the NBA this season at just about, I believe it's 10 on the dot. Now, sorry for Saddiq, but 48% of his shots, yes, 48%, now, almost 50% of his shots come from the 3-point line. So, not a great recipe for success against a team that does not give up a lot of 3-pointers. And now Saddiq should go return to his 9 to 12 shot attempts that he had been averaging the past 5 games. If you think about the Wizards, play very slow defense, or very slow in terms of pace of play. He's played the Wizards 3 times last year, and that was a team that was much worse defensively than they are today. He shot 7, 8, and 12 times in those games, scoring just 4, 11, and 9 points, going under in all 3 games. Now you throw Cade Cunningham into the mix, who wasn't there last year. It's really just Jeremy Grant. You got the games over under at 208.5 points. The Wizards playing at the 5th slowest pace in the league, and I don't see Saddiq having a crazy good game considering all the conditions. I'll take his under, especially at plus 100 value, under 13.5 points. I'm all in. Now let's sign me up. Now I've had several other plays, and I will release them a little bit later down below in the pinned comment section, so make sure you go check it out there in case we ever add some extra plays. And I will have one special play for the live stream, so you have to make sure you come tune into that. Now, here's the parlay, and it's only 2 legs, and I'll talk about them. Josh Giddey to hit no 3-pointers, under 0.5, and 40-plus points from Stephen Curry, plus 1,500 for the parlay. Now, you could reduce those legs, whatever you want, but now you might be Austin, why only 2 legs? Well, there's one other leg, and it was in the Nets game, and I don't have a line for it. So we're only going to take these 2 legs. Maybe I'll add another leg and make the parlay even more juicy, but we're going to start with these 2. Now, Giddey, that under 0.5 3-pointers, plus 180 on FanDuel. Giddey has not hit a 3-pointer in 3 straight games, and in 7 of his last 9 games. Now today, Toronto, middle of the pack in terms of allowing threes per game, about 15, 16th per game in the NBA. Now at home, they move up to about 10th in terms of threes, but you look at Giddey, he's shooting just 25% from 3 on the season and 20% on the road. I'll take my chances tonight, especially at plus 180 value. Now, and you're going to need, sure, he has to hit 1-3 and the parlay's busted, but yeah, I like my chances. You need a lot of luck to go your way to hit a parlay. Now, second leg, Stephen Curry, 40-plus points. You heard me talk about it earlier, best bet of the day, and I want to fire up, and if he's firing it up, I want to be cashing my bets even at better value. So 40-plus points alone is plus 480, and that's 2 legs, plus 1524. The other guy we did consider, James Harden, but do not have his legs, but he's in his revenge game against the Houston Rockets. I believe his first game back in Houston. We'll see how that one goes. I'm curious what lines they give him, especially because we don't know, I don't imagine they rest him. I can't imagine that happens. and maybe the rest Kevin Durant on a back-to-back. We'll see about that. But those are the only 2 legs I want to do for the parlay. Maybe I add another one down below in the pinned comment section. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. 15 minutes long, longest video we've really ever done on this channel. Now, if I add another leg, I'll let you know down below. Get ready for the live stream, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see you guys then. Bring your questions, as I'll be answering them live. I'm ready for whenever. I'll be pulling them up on screen and answer them for you. I'll see you guys then. Live stream, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.